So welcome to this second video about going forth and back between BigDataViewer and more standard EG1 ImagePlus. In the previous video, I showed you how to export the underlying data from a dataset, and we end up with this green screenshot which was blurred. So now I'm not interested into this one, so I can just right-click and delete it. And let's say that now what I want to do is maybe concentrate on this layer of cells at this particular location, and let's rotate it so that, okay, it's a bit different. So for some reason, I'm really interested into this view, and I want to export just a single layer, a thin layer of these cells into an ImagePlus. And I can do this by selecting first the correct view and then do sources, export, and now I want to export the current view to ImagePlus. So you end up with a window which has many parameters. The first one is name of the capture, and after we can select, so SAC stands for source and converters, so we can either choose to export just a single channel, only the angle 0 or the angle 60, or I can export all the sources which are present in the BigDataViewer frame. So that's what I will do right now. After, I can choose to export either the data from the full resolution of the image or from a lower sub-resolution. So here let's do time point 1. And after, I can either, and that's sometimes the most simple thing to do, export the BDV window according to the current frame. So the bounds, width and height will be the same as the one selected by the user. But I can be more specific and say that I want to export 800 units so that the real world coordinates of this BigDataViewer window. And okay, I need to uncheck this if I want to have some flexibility here. So let's do 600. And after, I can even export a certain thickness in D. So here let's do a thickness of 6. I guess the world coordinates are microns. I'm not sure still. And I can export a certain time frame, so from time point 0, which is included, to time point 3, which is excluded. I will even go up to time point 4, which has no view, and we'll see how it behaves. Then I need to precise the sampling in world coordinate units. So I will do 1 in XY, and maybe let's be a bit more coarse in the 2. So I can export something anisotropic. And I will not take the interpolated source. The lookup table, the original one, I do not want to ignore them, and we'll make a composite image. So if I do this, now you see that I have an ImagePlus which corresponds almost exactly to the view. It's a bit different because I changed the width and height. And I can go through and see these layers. I can go through time, and since it's a virtual stack, it's loading what's happening. And we have these two channels. Again, I can modify this image, but first I need to duplicate it. This can take a bit of time because now it really reads everything from the original data. And I'm just losing the brightness contrast settings. This one and this one. Okay, so now we have the data. And I will do just a very simple processing. So let's do a small Gaussian blur. And why not edge filter? Okay, so now we have these nice edges in all the slice. I will change a little bit the color table, so we'll have it green and this one in magenta. And because the original location of this screenshot is stored within the image, I can again go to sources and re-import into BigDataViewer this ImagePlus. So you will notice that a second SPIM data has appeared here, and I can right click and show it to the current view. It will be a bit more clear if I remove the original data set. Let's zoom on a cell. And this guy, I think I need to change a little bit. Maybe this view is a bit better. Yeah, this view. This one, sorry. Okay, so now we can see that we have the edge around the cells. And the green part is disappearing because that's actually corresponding to the thickness of what we exported here. So if I go away from where the screenshot was taken, so let's say I rotate a little bit, now you see the size of the thickness where we had exported the data. And it works in time, so we've exported the 2 time points. And just to mention here, we exported more time points that were accessible in the data, and if you do this, it's okay, you will have an image filled with zeros. Again, if you save the image and reopen it, the location in space and time will be saved with this image, so you're completely fine, like making some annotation in order to put them back in a BigDataViewer. One last thing I would like to mention is that BigDataViewer is actually reading the data from the ImagePlus. So if I continue to modify right now the image by, let's say, cropping some parts, so let's go there and I will crop all along the data. Okay, so you see there's a missing part here in the time point 1. So if I go to time point 1, you see that this was cropped. Maybe I will find a better representation. Yes. So here you see that one part is missing, and that's the black square that I just did. So yeah, this remains in synchrony between this one and this one. You just need to go, let's say, 1 time point forth and back to make BDV actually update the window. So thank you for listening and take care. Bye.